Hi there, welcome back. I'm Lee Sharon, and this is the bean trellis at Old Tavern Farm. It's one of two bean trellises, and then we've also got a couple of wires over here with more beans on them. I thought today it's going to be really hot. I was going to get out here kind of early and just try to maybe tame some tomato plants and tame some bean plants. Just kind of do an overall check. Everything is growing. I'm getting lots of harvest, and so come along with me and let me show you what I've got going here. And you can see the difference from the last garden tour a month ago and today, and I'll show you what I'm doing with it. So these are my Greek Giganta beans. You can see that they're starting to form a bean pod now. And these beans will crop all the way through to first frost, which is for us usually the end of September, 1st of October. Just beyond them are the Mother Earth beans that are really, really going gangbusters. Let's walk through. So these beans are climbing like crazy. They are putting out little buds and things. Okay, next to the beans are the cucumbers, and I've already been cropping in all kinds of cucumbers, different varieties. I'll drop the varieties in the description box, but and I'll show you what I've been doing with them. Here are the onions. They are doing very well, and probably will be starting to crop in the next month or so. They need to fall over, the tops need to fall over. You can see down here, they are starting to bulb up down there. They still have a little while to go, but overall, they're healthy and more or less weed-free. My cabbages are doing beautifully. The cabbage white moths have found them, however, so I'm gonna start bringing them in and harvesting them, and I'll show you what I do with them. We have fully harvested all of our broccoli, so this is just a weed patch at the moment, along with everything else. Again, my volunteer tomato plants are growing in the aisleways and doing just fine. There's another one. And there's another one with tomatoes on it. I have been harvesting my basil, and I make basil pesto out of this basil. I make a year's supply, and just with this little patch I have more than I could possibly use. More of the Mother Earth beans. There's a volunteer squash plant of some kind. I think it's a pumpkin. And here's our peppers. They're starting to crop in also. These are the sweet banana pepper variety. And they go all the way down to the end there. Over here are black-eyed peas, cow peas some people call them. They are a very late crop. They need a lot of heat and they need a long time to grow, so they go all the way to frost. Here's another little patch of peppers. Oh, I wanted to show you down here my other varieties. These are King of the North bell peppers. And right next to the peppers, I have bush beans, green beans, and they're gonna need picking really soon. In fact, I'm gonna probably have to do that today. They are loaded. And this is a row actually of green bean bush variety. And then this is the cowpea or the black-eyed pea. Okay, and then there's another little patch of, we sort of stuck things wherever we could, as it's very obvious. And then over here across the aisle from those is our pumpkin patch that's full of weeds, but I don't care. And we've got several big pumpkins. We got one right here. That's a big jack-o'-lantern. There's another one over here. And there's pumpkins all through this patch, and I'll show you that later as they mature. And then over here is a row of tomatoes. And then another row of some kind of bean, not sure what. And then that's backed up by tomatoes. And there's some more tomatoes that are starting to crop in. I believe these are the Amish paste variety. Let's see if we can get closer there. There we go. Oh, that's two separate plants. Okay. They are really starting to come in. And then you can see over there, there's more tomatoes. Lots and lots of sunflowers. And there's more beans here. This is what I have to do today too. These are the little cherry pear-shaped yellow pears. I've got to train this one up. Must be done today because they are starting to crop in, and you can see they've been on the ground so long that they've started to root. This is what tomatoes do. They root off the stalk. So you can always, if you have one broken, you just stick it in the ground. Now here's one that we have trained up a little bit just so they're not laying on the ground. I'm really behind this year, so I never actually got to train up my tomatoes before they got big. So I'm having to kind of do damage control, but that's just how it goes some years. So I'm not gonna beat myself up. All right, so here's more cowpeas. Over here, some more bush beans. You can see just regular old green beans. And my friend Becky will help me pressure can those to preserve them. I really don't like green beans when they're frozen. It just does something to the texture. So I trade my best friend Becky bread and different produce and stuff, and she helps me pressure can because I don't have a pressure canner. All right, over here, something interesting going on here. This is sort of a Three Sisters thing going on here with this sunflower stalk. This is a mammoth sunflower, mammoth variety. And the green bean, this is the Mother Earth bean, is growing all the way up the stalk. So it's using the stalk of the sunflower to grow up as a trellis. And so these are actually shell beans. So I will leave these on its trellis. Here's another nice sunflower. I'll leave these on the trellis until fall, and everything dries and freezes. And well, maybe not freeze. I don't want them to freeze necessarily, but then I will just pop them off the vine, and I will shake them out of the shell and put them in a jar. And here's some more peppers that I've managed to weed out a little bit. The peppers really need heat, so I've got to get some of this wet weed out from around it. More peppers. My strawberries, I'm going to transplant them to over there. And this patch right here is a new bed of asparagus. They're going to be ground cover. And then more onions here. They're doing great. They look weedy, but they're actually not. More onions over here. And down the row here is some more cabbage. And again, there's a good sized one. I am really gonna need to get out here and get these harvested, because I can leave these in my kitchen for quite a while. And then I can make things with them. Okay, these are the carrots. This is actually what a carrot top looks like. And again, more onions. And they're very weedy, but I actually just pulled some out and they're actually doing really well. So they are actually in weed barrier down there. So even though there's some weeds, they are down there, they're open. Okay, and then here's more dill. I'm just about at the end of my dill season. So I've been harvesting, as you can see. I've been harvesting all along and putting them in bags in the refrigerator. And so that's been doing well. This is the cauliflower. There's some like insect matter down here, but that just washes off. It's no big deal. And then over here, kale, cropping in beautifully. And again, potatoes, zucchini. There's my dinner potatoes. This is all potatoes in here. They're actually not doing too bad as far as the weeds look really terrible, but you can see there's the potato plant right there. So they're doing very well this year. The pigs were in this garden too this winter, and so everything's really full of nutrition. And here's more peppers. Here's more cucumbers. Now I'm going to show you one thing that has just given me so much joy and delight. And these sunflowers are really feeling the heat. This is how we all feel in this weather. But some beautiful volunteer pumpkins that basically just are hanging on the fence. There's the fence right there. And they have climbed up the fence and they're just hanging. I mean, these are good sized pumpkins. And then there's two more over here, just hanging on the fence, just hanging out. I mean, these are good sized pumpkins. So there's my hand. So that gives you an idea. So that's the garden, the very sort of middle of the summer garden tour. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for visiting and give you big hugs as always. And I hope you visit again. So until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.